smoking on that shit y'all can't afford. Smoking on that shit y'all can't afford.
Welcome to the Gas Station Podcast, a podcast inspired by the cannabis culture. I'm Roddy P.
And I'm Drew, and welcome back to another episode. Man, today we got some family in the building, man. We got an artist, man, that we felt like we had to introduce to the people. DMAD, man, welcome to the gas station.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. So we got a couple other family in the building as well. My boy James, my boy D Cook over here, man. How y'all doing? Welcome to the gas station as well.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man. It's a beautiful day. It's not a Saturday like always. So today's a Sunday, so we're gonna fellowship and have a good time. The Chiefs just won, right? Barely. Yeah, man. So D-Man, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
So, grew up here, actually in Kansas. Grew up in Kansas majority of my life, Overland Park area. Played basketball for the majority of my life. So I was a pretty highly regarded prospect coming out of high school. Went to a prep school in Branson, Missouri, called Linkier Prep. So I played there, and then COVID happened, and so that along with some injuries caused me to start really pursuing music more. Yeah. So I've been writing my whole life pretty much. Always been super inspired by different artists and really everything I heard. So that's kind of when COVID happened. That's when I decided to take it more seriously, and I started recording songs in my car at the prep school I was at. I had roommates, so I couldn't record in my room. Yeah. So I'd go to my car like during the night. When really the only time I have free time with school and hooping and everything.
So was you recording by yourself? You had a whole engineer, a whole team?
No, it was just me. I recorded most of my songs using like this little cheap microphone on my phone. Using voice memos on my phone, And I use my laptop. And I connect them to my headphones. The port on my computer was broken, so I couldn't plug my mic into my computer.
Damn.
So I had to.
He was hella resourceful.
I had to email all the vocal files and all that shit. Yeah. But and that's where I have a song out right now. It just did. Today actually just reached 6 million streams on Spotify.
Damn, man, congratulations, man.
8 million, my fault.
Yeah. I did my research.
Yeah, that song was actually recorded in my car in the parking lot.
That's wild as fuck.
Yeah.
So you said you hooped, right? So I got to get him on this. See, that's what I did. That's what my boy Pierre did. So did you play who'd you play for in the summer? Like your AAU team?
Summer, I played for Team KC.
Team KC? Okay.
You know
Pip.
Yeah.
Play with Pip. Yeah. Good dude.
What position you play when you was hooping?
I was a guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
PG shooting guard?
Combo guard.
Straight up.
Yeah. Depends on who's in the game, really.
Right, for sure. Situation.
So what high school did you go to around here?
I went to Blue Valley North for 2 years.
Blue Valley North.
And then I transferred to Kansas City Christian for a year. And then for my senior year, I went to Linkier Prep.
Straight up. So, how was that whole prep vibe, bro? Was it cool?
It was cool. It was a lot of basketball, a whole lot of basketball, a lot of training. We wake up at 6 a.m. Actually 5:30. We have weights at 6 a.m. Like the classic, really just like a college basketball environment. So
with being because I do music too, so I know how it is like as far as a basketball player or an athlete transitioning to music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Did you have that point in your career where people was just like what are you doing? Because you know how like basketball players, you know what I'm saying, and well nowadays it's more acceptable because more people doing it.
Right.
But let me see, I graduated in 2006 from Ray South, so doing music and sports, that shit didn't mix. So I never thought I wasn't even doing it back then though. You know what I'm saying? I didn't start doing it till I was in when I got out of college.
Yeah.
Because I went to Oral Roberts.
Okay. Dope.
So you know what I'm saying? I always wrote, but it was never nothing that I would, you know what I'm saying, think about doing at the time.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to pursue it necessarily.
Right. So how did you from transitioning or doing it while you was playing ball, like, how do you just like separate the two?
So it's hard. So up until this last summer, actually, I played college basketball for a year in Lincoln at a school called Nebraska Wesleyan out there. I played there last year, and up until this last summer, I really just kind of had to balance, school and, or not school and sports, but music and sports. Music was something that I really just kind of did on the side. I kind of treated it as like a hobby. Then once I started dealing with those injuries, that's when I kind of decided, like, maybe I can make this more of a hobby. Then eventually it just kind of took basketball's place and it flipped. So I was playing college basketball last year, and basketball took the back seat while I was playing college basketball.
Right.
Just because I love making music so much.
Sure.
But yeah, in terms of like balancing the two, I think really the trick is, because with basketball, like, basketball doesn't give you a lot of room to necessarily like express yourself, and I think everybody kind of needs an outlet for that. And so that's kind of what I used music as. I wanted to use something that I felt like I was gifted with, and kind of be able to express myself and display that to other people. So I feel like a lot of it's relatable.
Right.
So what's like your so when we getting ready to listen to some DMAD, music, what type of vibes should we be expecting?
To be honest with you, it really depends on the song.
Sure does.
Yeah, I kind of make a variety of different sounds. Most common comparisons I've heard like a Mac Miller Jack Harlow combo.
Sure do.
And in terms of like flows and the voice a little bit at times, I've gotten like Drake comparisons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Sure do.
But I really fuck with punchlines. Okay. So that's kind of my I fuck with bars. I fuck with punchlines.
Straight up.
So
straight up.
it's pretty much what you can expect.
Yo. So you making more like, like some club music, you making more like some just chill vibes.
So it really honestly just kind of depends on my mood. I feel like I'm able to do them all and do them all well.
Straight up, versatility,
Yeah, but that's just because when I'm making music, like, it really is just kind of a reflection of however I'm feeling at the time.
Yep.
Like, I don't sit down and think like I'm gonna write a song about this. Like, I just sit down and write, and whatever I'm feeling gets put on paper.
Sure.
So if I'm feeling hype, I might write a club song. If I want to get some shit off my chest, I might write some hard, angry shit. You know what I'm saying? If I'm on a beach, like with a joint in my hand, like, I might write some smooth, chill shit. Yeah. Just kinda, it's all situational.
Yep.
But yeah. And it really depends on what I'm listening to at the time too, because I'm super heavily inspired by everything I hear, and I've been that way since a kid.
Straight up. So who are some artists that you like grew up listening to, or some people that are like inspiring your wave now?
So growing up, I was always really heavy on Lil Wayne.
Okay.
I loved Lil Wayne.
So you're a Wayne kid, huh?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I got there a little late. I think it would have been like middle school, like 6th, 7th grade is when I really kind of dove into his discography.
Okay.
That led me to Drake.
Yep.
Then kind of from there things started expanding. So Kid Cudi, Mac Miller, Kanye West, obviously the GOAT. And now it's expanded even more to even indie music and pop music, and there's all kinds of different music.
Yep.
So that's why, like, if I feel like making an indie song, if I've been listening to indie music lately, I might go to the studio and see what I can do.
Straight up.
So the name of your single that's hit, how many now? You said
8 million. Yeah,
8 million. So tell me about that process. Like, how did that even come about?
It's a crazy ass story. So there's one day I was going to record in my car. It was probably like 2, 3 a.m. I had a basketball tournament that weekend, but I was injured, so I wasn't playing, so I didn't really care about staying up late or any of that. Yeah, I go to my car, it's 2, 3 a.m., it's parents' weekend. So my mom came up from KC to come and watch my team play, just kind of support as much as she could. It's the only game she could make.
Right.
So I was in a parking lot recording like 2, 3 a.m. And, you know, kind of like I explained earlier, like my laptop didn't work. Like I was, you know, using just my USB port, my phone. My friend Mark was in the car with me. While I was recording it, I had the beat. And basically I just wrote it in the car and just kind of recorded it all in the car. Sent it to my homie in Oklahoma. He mixed it for me, sent it back, and then I put it out. But the kind of crazy story about the recording process is, man, while I was in my car recording, I looked over to my left, and you know, like I'm blasting music, like this shit's lit, like I'm making like a hard ass song, like hey. I look over to my left when I'm recording, and my mom's sitting in like her car. It's like 2:30 a.m. Like she's sleeping in her car, and I'm like, so I was like, what the fuck? Like, why are you sleeping in your car? So I asked her the next morning. I'm like, hey, like, were you sleeping in your car? Like, things were kind of struggling. Like, we were struggling financially pretty bad at the time, and so you know, she kind of took it upon herself to just sleep in her car instead of spend the money. But the reason that's such a cool story is because like the next morning she asked me, she was like, "You recording music last night?" Like she didn't know my process of recording in my car. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how she came to know about it. But not only that, like the financial struggle that kind of like resulted in that happening. I mean, it's not the way that specific song is performed, like that financial struggle like doesn't really exist anymore, thanks to the song.
Sure.
And it's yeah, it's just crazy. It's like a movie moment almost. You know?
That's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, and then it just grew, man. It always done like pretty good numbers. Then TikTok got a hold of it, and yes, there were like trends. The anime community loved it, which I thought was crazy because I've never watched anime in my life. Like I know nothing about any of it yet. And so man, yeah, like after that it really took off. And you know, once I kind of got the reassurance of like this is gonna be my life, like this is what I'm gonna do for a living. I dropped out of school, quit my job, and now I just rap full time, just make music full time.
Straight up.
So the song led to a lot.
Yeah. So I guess since you've, you know what I'm saying, since you've kind of like done music full time, has the process changed? Has, you know what I'm saying, like has the I guess has more avenues and more doors been opening since, you know what I'm saying, since the whole song break and whatnot?
Oh yeah. I'm not recording in my car anymore. So that's a good start.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've met a whole lot of really cool people.
Sure.
You know, it's opened a lot of doors for me. Yeah, met a lot of really good people. Recording an actual studio now. I have my own engineer, producer, kind of my own little team of artists.
Yep.
Who's your team right here?
Super talented. They're on my management team. That's my creative director. Yeah, and he's also a manager, both of them. So yeah, so I put together a really strong team of both artists and my management team, and just kind of having people to handle the business aspect of music.
So you could just focus on
music. For a while there, I was doing it by myself for a while, and it's a process, man. It's a lot. It was more than just making music at one point. So that's when, you know, I got a team of people that I really trust on board, and it's great. It makes all the difference.
Sure.
So yeah.
Sure do. So you know, how'd you go about building your team? Were these people you already knew? You know what I'm saying? Were these kind of people you met? You know what I'm saying? Kind of along the way.
So, kind of half and half. So, I've known James. James and I actually played on the same like club football team in like 4th or 5th grade.
Straight up.
He actually didn't know that until like what was it, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you told me recently.
Yeah, and he was like, "What?" But yeah, so we ended up going to the same middle school, and you know, we've been like cool throughout middle school and high school. We weren't like super close. I consider him a good friend though. And then he was running a promotion, like a promotional brand for underground KC artists at the time. And as I was trying to pursue music, I hit him up. I'm like, I had a little like demo I made. I'm like, yo, like, you think this is good? Like, you think this is something you could work with? And he was like, yeah. So he put it out, and then. So ever since, you know, really that day, he's been my go-to for everything music related. He's made album covers for me. He's introduced me to, you know, other artists in the area, and he's really been kind of like my right-hand man pretty much through the whole process. Derek, I've known since I was in 3rd or 4th grade. We went to the same. He was in middle school. I was in elementary school. But we went to the same school at KC Christian.
Yep.
And he'd been really into the music business, really interested in pursuing that. And so he saw that I was having this viral moment and, you know, reached out to me. And we had conversations about me and making music and things like that. But he has a friend named James Bentley who actually went to KC Christian also, who moved to LA. And he works as my head manager. He's managed artists like, man, who was it? It was Trippie Redd. It was Trippie Redd, Chief Keef, Saw Baby. So like he's really like established himself in the industry.
Yep.
And so Derek had that connection, and so got them on the phone. He has an assistant named Luke. So that's the team. It's Bentley, Luke, Derek, and James.
Yeah.
Then they all kind of have their own roles within the team, and everybody kind of understands what to do. It's been smooth sailing since it was put together. So
yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's dope. So, man, James, like, how long have you been, you know what I'm saying, like, around the industry, doing things within the industry and stuff like that?
Well, I started, like you said, with the promotions. I did just like KC brands, local brands, and then obviously branched out to, it was mainly rappers at first because there wasn't really a big music scene out here for anything else.
Yeah.
And then from there, I met people like Drew, and I started that process with a lot of people of like, oh yeah, I'll put your stuff out and try to help do all those other things, you know, kind of just I learned from YouTube and stuff. But he was the first and the only one where it actually clicked and something worked. So since that happened, I mean, that was always on the back burner, like promoting artists and stuff and just kind of learning more about the music industry. But it's always worked for him. So like he said, the right-hand man, everything I've learned, it's kind of been experimented with him, and we just tried it out and stuff.
Yeah, straight up. And then Cook, what about you, man? How long you been in and around the industry and whatnot?
Industry-wise, I've been moving around and talking to different artists in the city probably since 2016, 2015.
Yep.
I grew up playing piano and drums, so, you know, I've always loved music. And then I didn't see myself going far in music, playing piano and drums, so I was like, you know what, what's something else I can do?
Yep.
So school wasn't going too well. I dropped out. I was like, you know what can I do? Started connecting with different people in the city. Connected with an artist named Blau. Came across his music, came across a whole bunch of other people. Just started getting tapped in, and then kept building connections that, you know, were real cool. So
Straight up.
Blau's fire too.
Straight up.
Yeah, Blau's nice.
So like, so are you doing a lot of collaboration and stuff with different artists, or are you doing a lot of like solo projects and stuff?
Both. I'm always big on collaborating. I think that it's the best way to grow things through collaboration. I think, you know, people kind of get too caught up in the competition aspect of things.
Yep.
You know, there's enough money to be made for everybody, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But Yeah, so collaboration-wise, I'm always in a studio with at least 2 or 3 other artists from KC, even for my solo sessions. And so, sometimes like it could be a plain collaboration or just like, hey, like come get on the mic, like and things like that. But yeah, I have some music coming out. Actually, probably the majority of the music that I'm gonna release, upcoming music I'm gonna release, the only features on it are from artists in this area.
Straight up.
Yeah, and I did that intentionally, just because kind of the buzz that I'm getting right now, I feel like that's something that hasn't happened for a lot of people from around this area, and so I think I think it's important to kind of put people from the city on and give the city that exposure.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have the talent here, for sure. There's a hell of a lot of talent here, but it just don't have the exposure. Being in the pit middle of the country.
For sure. So is the plan to stay independent, or is the plan to try to get a record deal? What's on the horizon?
So, as of right now, so we're kind of in negotiations with a number of different labels. It really is just kind of going to depend on what the deal looks like.
Sure
You
do.
hear a lot about different artists and kind of how they get fucked over within their deals, have like really short-lived careers, and then they're in debt when they get out of it. So, as I'm negotiating these deals and my team is and these contracts and talking to these different people, you got to kind of take the time and really be careful and read the fine print, so that doesn't happen to you, pretty much. Because I'm not trying to have that happen to me.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I'm fully independent right now. That could change in the next 2 weeks. It really just depends on what the conversations are like.
Yeah, straight up.
So I don't really know as of now.
Yeah, that's dope.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
So I guess how many you just got some singles out? You got some albums or some EPs or some shit? What you got going on?
So I have 3 EPs out right now. 2 of them are 7 songs. The third EP is kind of a continuation of the second one. It's 3 songs. I think I have 28 songs out right now on all platforms. So I'm big on projects. I like projects.
Sure.
I like, the concepts behind it and kind of having like a consistent theme.
Yep.
I think it's dope. I've always appreciated projects, growing up. So that's kind of what the discography's like right now.
Straight up. So I know people, you at least you hear about it, and I learned shit, like watching bro do his thing and whatnot. And so like I know people have, like different success levels on different platforms and stuff. And there's so many places you can put your music out now. So I know you were talking about Spotify streams and stuff like that. Is Spotify your better platform?
Yeah, I think Spotify is definitely driving my music the most.
Straight up.
I don't know if it's because it's necessarily the more popular platform. They're really good with their playlisting though.
Straight up.
This single World is Spinning's on 250,000 plus Spotify playlists.
Straight up.
So that's super dope, because that means it's got replay value. People are gonna you shuffle your playlist, it's gonna get played. That's until they delete the song or don't listen to the playlist.
For sure.
And so, yeah, Spotify by far. I think it's just because their playlisting is so good.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, it's always interesting to find it, 'cause, of course, most people are listening to Apple Music, of course, because everybody got iPhones and whatnot. But when you talk to artists and stuff like that, the information that you get back is always, it's like Apple Music may not be the best platform for a little guy, right? Like it may be, wherever. So it's always interesting just to, kind of hear that from different people and stuff like that. So yeah, that's good information.
Yeah, a lot of smaller artists really do kind of rely a little bit on playlisting.
Yep.
I think a lot of times when people will hear, a song from a small artist, it's not a lot of times that, they're gonna, necessarily be quick to search the song up again or put it in a playlist with songs by, Drake and Post Malone and whoever else.
Right.
And so I think, Spotify kind of crafting these different playlists for artists who, once they get a little buzz, really kind of helps them take that next step. I think on Apple Music, it's really easy to kind of get stuck in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's dope.
That's cool. So are you doing shows? You trying to do some touring? What you know? What I'm saying.
Actually, I've never done a show.
Straight up.
Yeah, I have my.
That's wild as fuck.
Man, it is. I've never done a show. I have my my first show on Saturday actually.
Where at?
So it's,
Plug them.
It's I should know where this is at.
He the artist. He just showing up, right?
We're supposed to take care of
I was just talking to somebody about it earlier.
Straight up.
I should know this.
He's like, I'll be there though.
It is at the Lucia Beer. Wait, no, that's the wrong one.
No, that's the last one.
He doesn't have it on his Instagram.
I know
Come on,
this
team.
shit. I
What's
know
the
this
deal?
shit. Oh, look, see there. Oh, see, look. Literally, the first text I open up is the flyer for it. No, it said Lemonade Park, October 23rd.
Where's Lemonade Park?
Lemonade Park is. Let me map it.
Gotta be.
I've never been there. It's Wyoming Street, Kansas City, Missouri. It's 15 minutes from here.
What? Never.
Oh, it's right by Hy-Vee Arena. Yeah.
What?
It's right by Hy-Vee Arena.
Never heard of that shit.
Yeah.
We got a Lemonade Park, Kansas City. You heard it first here.
See it October 23rd.
Nah,
Be there.
they probably heard it. They heard it before the other thing you talking about. 'Cause I didn't know nothing about it.
They heard nothing about it.
We last on the list.
Lemonade Park been open for years. Why?
I've never been there, but no, it looks pretty dope.
So is it indoor, outdoor shit?
It's indoor, I think.
Okay.
We'll
That's
find
straight.
out.
Yeah. Man, we're gonna pull up.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna pull up.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna find out what you're talking about. We're gonna find out what Lemonade Park talking about too.
Hey, it should be dope. I'm opening for one of my homies. His name's Hijack.
Okay.
He's dropping an album the day before, so I'm working as one of the opening acts, kind of for his album release show.
Straight up.
That's what it is.
That's cool.
So, yeah, shout out Hijack. He's a talented ass dude.
Straight up.
So it's gonna be dope.
Yeah. Hijack, fuck with us one time. But yeah, so that's cool, man. So it is so it's gonna be some other artists on there as well, or it's just
Yeah, it's me, somebody named Boy, who I don't know, and then Kamal Malik is another artist. Kamal's fire too.
straight up.
Yeah, and then Hijack. So yeah, it's 4 artists.
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. It's my first show. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
It's gonna be dope. I'm excited to get the first one over with.
Yep.
Kind of have a real feel for what's to come.
Yep.
A little bit. I feel like it's gonna be a wake up call getting up there and be like, damn, these people fuck with me like that.
So,
Like,
hearing your
this is
lyrics
crazy.
getting
Hearing
right back.
myself, yeah. I'm gonna be like, damn.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on that as well, man.
Thank
And
you.
then I seen on YouTube it had couple 100,000. That visual. Did you have a visual video?
Yeah, he actually made that. Funny, yeah. He made
She got like shit.
the
I think
lyric
it's
video.
at almost 700K.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like six.
I don't know how to say that.
I don't. Yeah, like.
He's like, I don't know how to say it. Just say that
I
shit.
mean, I don't
Well
know.
deserved.
I don't know. I don't know what he was expecting, but I was not expecting that kind of.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I mean,
Straight up.
damn. But yeah, no. YouTube's another platform that's been performing really well. It's got the video that my distributor put out. It's got like 2.7 million views.
Yep.
The remix is doing a couple 100,000. The lyric video is doing great. There's people making, different mashups on it that are getting a bunch of views. And I actually just was finally able to file something through my distributor to where if somebody uses my song on YouTube, it automatically, finds it, like it's copyrighted. They finds it, and then I get the money for it, and all ad money and all that. So shout out to people making me money. It's pretty dope. But yeah.
Straight up. So earlier you was talking about the TikTok shit, bro. So did they make a dance for your songs and shit, bro?
It's all over the place. Like, there's not necessarily a specific trend behind it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like anime edits and things like that.
Straight up.
There is a dance. There was an artist who goes by the name of Peyton who actually remixed my song once it started getting a little buzz, and that sound blew up on TikTok also. So it's kind of two versions of the song, but because it's my song, it says it's my song under the sound. So when his remix of my song started trending, it led people to the original version of my song.
Exactly.
And so basically a bunch of different sounds on TikTok that were all my song blew up. So it was like going viral multiple times for the same shit, basically. It's kind of cool. But yeah, so there was a dance to the remix version, but it didn't really like take off.
Straight up. That's just always funny
cool,
just to see them dance. They all be looking the same, but they had the kids going crazy.
It's just it's funny to log on to like TikTok. You see a bunch of like e-girls dancing to your music. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
What's an e-girl?
An e-girl?
Oh, an e-girl.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is going on?
No, you log on to TikTok, you'll see like this fine ass girl be dancing to your own song.
She's like, that's me.
You're like, damn, like, you'll never know it's me either. I'm like, fuck, if only you knew.
Right. Get no love.
It's just how it goes, man. Fuck.
But they gonna listen though. I guess it's all the same, right?
I guess they can put money in my pocket. I guess if I'm not spending too much on them, it's fair compromise.
Right? Because it's always the other way.
Always. Always.
Yeah. That's funny as hell. Yeah, man. We good and baked, everybody quiet in this motherfucker, huh?
Yeah. Pretty fried.
The gas station. Yeah, man.
So when did y'all start this podcast?
The podcast shit, we started that shit earlier this year. So it's just been kind of something we just been we wanted to kind of give our spin, our version of what we see. Because we do a lot of this stuff like with people in private and stuff. I know you're saying we met D Cook a minute ago, and he just came and just vibed out with us on just some chill shit.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of people, like, they didn't get to see this side of things, where we actually sit down, like, sesh out with people, have conversations and stuff, and like learn and like just kind of chop game. So it's like, like, this is the cannabis culture. Like, this is what the cannabis culture does. Like, it brings people together, and then it opens people up to have conversations and stuff, and then you learn things. You're able to, collaborate or find ways to come together. And so it's like people should be able to see this. And so it's like, all right, shit, like, let's start recording the content and like putting it out there and stuff.
Yep.
And like inviting people out that, that are dope. And people have reached out to us and like, hey, I want to come on smoke with y'all, like, like, what's up? So it's like, all right, like, so now we're in a position to where like we can kind of expound upon it and then start delivering more content. So for us, it was an opportunity for us to kind of foray into YouTube and shit, because we weren't on YouTube. We're mostly on Instagram. It's hard to do cannabis stuff anywhere. And so, this was our opportunity to kind of create some content for YouTube and stuff like that, and to kind of figure it all out and kind of go from there. So, I mean, it'd be dope if one day we on Vice or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, So, we... For people that watch a lot of like podcasts and YouTube shows and stuff like that, like that's what we want to do. Like we got a whole platform and a whole concept for all kind of shit. And so it's just like we just We need the right connections and the right people and the right timing to be able to then, you know what I'm saying, do all those things because you're seeing it work. Like YouTube's like the new TV. And so it's like shit. I may not be able to get on, you know what I'm saying, like national televised television and stuff like that, but I can create my own channel on YouTube and then you can subscribe to that.
Yep.
And you can check out all the stuff. And I got a vast majority of, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. It's like shit, we done cooked on the show. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we can do everything. We can have our little Rachel Ray segment and shit.
Yep.
We can have we can have our little home and garden segment and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then we can have our little talk show. And you know what I'm saying? And you can tune in to this shit at all times of day. Shit, we might drop a cartoon on these fools and get the kids in there too. So it's just like shit. It's like, man, we got something for everybody. So yeah, man, that was our whole at least thought process when we started this thing, and so it's just you know, it's learning, and it's a lot harder than people would imagine. So it's time consuming and it's hard to, you know, match schedules up with people and stuff like that, and so it's a beautiful result, like when we get the videos back and we're able to put them out there and you hear people like saying like, bro, I seen y'all like your podcast. It's like, damn, bro, y'all watch this shit?
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
the best feeling in the world.
It's like, I didn't know people was watching that shit. Like, and so it's interesting to, you know, to have those conversations and then for people to see it and then want to actually be on the show or want to come out and want to sit in the audience and different things like that. So yeah, man, it's been cool. Yeah.
That's super dope. It's dope you said, you know, like cannabis brings people together. I think I've met and developed relationships, you know, with a ton of people.
Yep.
And most of the time I'm with them, we'll just be smoking. And, you know, it's like it really does, you know, bring people together. You know, I've always had I don't remember, I've talked about this with multiple people, but I always thought it was funny how, like, you put two dudes in a room with, like, a handle of alcohol, like, there's gonna be a fight. Put two dudes in a room with a joint. I mean, we're chilling, we're having a great time.
Yep.
And so I think people are kind of starting to come around to that a little more recently. Which is why it's dope. Is why, like, things like this have been, you know, able to come into kind of fruition recently, and, you know, hopefully it's legalized on a federal level. So, but
or at least decriminalized.
yeah,
I'll take that.
for real.
Yeah, man, it's cool. So I mean, shit, everybody's sitting in power and stuff. I mean, how long you been smoking cannabis and stuff like that?
Probably, man, I smoked for the first time with him actually.
Sure.
Before, it was
Good
before.
friend.
Don't make me feel bad.
My first time smoking, we hotboxed his car.
Straight up.
We hotboxed his car. It was before a Lil Uzi Vert concert. And man, I was
a lot.
fucked up, man. That was my first time smoking flower, smoking.
Straight up.
Yeah, that was my second time smoking overall. But I was fucked up. That shit was so fun though.
Straight up.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
fun.
He said hot box the Uzi before the Uzi concert.
Yup. That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
And my first time, like, you know, ever putting THC in my system, for lack of better terms, I had a neighbor who was, you know, taking dabs on his back porch, and you know, we had a couple mutual friends, and they were over there.
Yeah.
So I was going out back, you know, hanging out with them, and you know, like, they started taking dabs, and you know, I tried like little, like, man, this is when, like, the little vapes and, like, the Juuls and stuff, like, really, like, were super popular.
Yep.
And so I tried those. So I was like, oh, dope. Like, okay, let me take a dab. Let me smoke weed. I had a basketball game 30 minutes later. Man, I took dabs. I went to my game, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? But no, it calmed me down. I actually kind of played really well. but that was my first. Yeah, so I kind of had two first times. They were both pretty damn cool.
Straight up.
So,
Straight up.
but no, that would have been my. When was that? Sophomore year?
We don't have to disclose the age. We'll say around then.
I was 18 my sophomore year. So
Yeah.
So it was cool. I'm old. Yeah.
Super sophomore.
Held back a couple years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, it's always cool to hear people, you know what I'm saying, like, like cannabis stories or like how they got into it and stuff. Like everybody's things are different. So some people start off recreational and stuff. So I heard you was talking about injuries and stuff. So it was interesting. Has it helped with your with coping with your injuries and not playing sports and shit?
Yeah, I think it helped a lot. It's helped a lot with creativity too. Anxiety, kind of all of the above. It's definitely helped me with injuries, kind of accepting, where I'm at. Kind of having that feeling of like, look, like you're gonna be good, like, or not necessarily creating that feeling, but kind of making me realize it more. Yeah. That's something that's always there. I think that's something that cannabis does, is it kind of opens your eyes up to, positive feelings and emotions that you have that are already there,
yep.
but you just might not recognize them as much as you should. I think that's helped me with a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cannabis is good for you, boy. Good for you. Soul. Yeah, man.
It's so funny. Like, there's so many people who smoke. Like, I've never met like two potheads who don't get along, like, ever. It's like
it's rare.
It's funny.
That shit like glue, boy.
Yeah.
It bring people together for sure. It almost like, like brings down the barriers and stuff that, that like people from different backgrounds may have when you come into a setting and stuff.
Yep.
So it's just like shit, like it brings everybody's barriers down and allows people to just to be themselves and like openly talk and communicate and shit. So it's cool. Like, I've had dope ass conversations with like 70-year-old men and women.
Yeah.
And it'd be like I never talked to somebody's grandma like this. And they're in here telling us stories, but like, man, I've been smoking since the 50s. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what? Miss Shirley, you're crazy. But to see them doing the exact same thing that we do, it's just like, man, like, and you.
Not even that, they've been doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They've been doing it. So it ain't nothing that you can say on how you smoke. It may be smoking more. Like, we probably smoke more than what they was doing, you know what I'm saying? But they been smoking, you know what I'm saying?
That's probably the only difference. They were smoking like little pens and stuff like that, and we rolling up, 3 5s and whatever else. And so it's just like, I think that's probably the biggest difference, because they say we're wasteful. The younger cannabis crowd blows through weed, and they're just like, man, shit, an ounce of weed used to last me 2 months. And it's like, that shit ain't last 2 weeks. So I think like those things be like the, the difference and stuff, or just their tolerance for things. It's the weed was different. Those Acapulco Golds and stuff that they talk about, that was a less potent weed than than the stuff that you getting now.
Right.
So it's always interesting to like talk about like, oh man, I don't know about them crazy names. All they want here is, do you got some Acapulco Gold? And they be like, man, I ain't got none of that shit.
Man, like what? No.
Some Maui Wowie. So it'd be funny because, like, when you talk to an older person and they get to talk about some weed, you know exactly what strain they gonna talk about. Yeah, we sit here and bust out laughing like, well, I knew you was gonna say that. It's like, man, that Acapulco Gold used to be like, it's like, man, like what we think of as gas now, like for them, those was those strains, and it was clearly like the shit, because all the old people know about it. It was like, damn, I don't know how Acapulco Gold made it from Washington State to motherfucking Florida. Because goddamn, everybody had it. Everybody had it. It's like, what is going on? But yeah, that should be funny, man.
It's like, man, I always feel like those people tried any of the exotic strains going around today, they'd probably see God himself.
For real.
They hit a dab or something?
Yeah, they hit a dab, bro.
That's the thing, you said they only had 2 different strains, now there's about 3,000.
5,000.
Yeah, for each different kind of, however you want to do it.
That shit funny.
Damn, I would pay to see that.
Yeah.
I would pay good
Go
money.
like
to see
100
that.
years in the past. Give them a dab too.
Could figure out. No, whenever time travel kind of exists, somebody's got to go get the caveman high.
Yeah. See what happens.
Take them back on.
Yeah.
Try this. Try this.
They were probably smoking on crazier shit back then, though. Probably smoking bugs and shit.
Eating some weird shit
Yeah,
in the forest.
being weirdos.
We smoking on that snake venom, huh? That shit funny. Damn, man. So, man, plug your social medias. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so everybody can find me. I go by DMAD on all music platforms. That's Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to music. Socials, everything is at Everything is at DMAD, DMAD dot VSN. DMAD, DMAD dot VSN.
Straight up. Cook, where they find you at, man?
Hey, D-Loading520. D-Loading520 on the Instagram. That's where you find me at.
JamesDwayne.vsn, and I think we're all both in his bio too.
Yeah, you find me, you'll find them.
Yeah.
You find them, you'll find me.
Exactly.
Man, well, it's been a blessing, man. I appreciate you guys for coming out, session out with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Man, it's always good to see people like putting on for the city and like doing dope shit. So I appreciate you for coming out on this Sunday, man. And yeah, with that, man, we're gonna wrap up another episode of the Gas Station Podcast.
Cut.
We smoking on that shit y'all can't afford. Smoking on that shit y'all can't afford.